What's going on, everybody? Connie here with Caliber Whips, and today in this video we're going to be talking about how to make the 10x12 herringbone knot. So the last video that I've made, how to make the herringbone knot, this was a 6x7 Turk's knot expanded into the herringbone. This video we're doing the 4x5 Turk's knot and expanding it into the herringbone. Now this knot is going to be two-toned, so we have a blue piece of cord and then a gray piece of cord. We're going to expand that. We're going to be doing a two-tone knot, so just keep that in mind. If you want to do a single tone knot, just do everything that I'm doing, just with one long strand. So I have about a 3-foot section of cord, rubber band onto this little jig. You want to make a jig that's 4 on top. There's 4 evenly spaced nails, and then an inch below it, there's 4 evenly spaced nails that are in between the other two. So for example, you have these two here, right down the middle. That's where the other nail should be. Same goes for everything else. So with that being said, let's get started. We're going to take our piece of cord, doesn't matter where it is here. We're going to take it in between two, we're going to hold it. We're going to go all the way around to the back and then bring it forward just like that. We're going to wrap it all the way around on the other nail, just like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go under. We're going to go under our strand that we started off with, just like that. Now these nails are a little bit loose, so some of them might drop out as I tie this knot. So for the next place to go, we wrap it around this nail here, then we go under, and then over, being sure to not snag on any extra nails. Oh, there we go. Just like that. We wrap over. We're going to go do the opposite of what this strand is doing, so we're going to go over, under, over. Just like that. Same goes for this one. Over, under, over. Yeah, this nail's trying to come out. Now we're going to go under, over, because since these two strands right here, they both go under, we're going to go over. Same with this one. These both go over, we're going to go under. Making sure not to be covered up by the other nail. Just like that. We're going to pull that. And then we're going to kind of tie up this guy right next to itself. Just like that. Alright, that pretty much does it for the first half. So we have a 4x6. Now I will mention, you don't have to have a jig for this, it just makes it easier. Because the herringbone knot gets a little bit messy. So we're going to attach the strand on the back end of the jig, so on the opposite side of the other strand. And the reason for this is when we go to attach it onto our whip, when we go to cut these strands short and singe them together, we don't want 4 strands all in one spot. If we can space it out, make it look a little bit better, that would be ideal. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take it, we're going to wrap it around the back just like this. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to take our piece of cord like this. We're going to go under one of the strands. Oop. We're going to take one of our strands, and this is going to be kind of our leader for now. We're going to kind of follow him up the jig until we get to the center. So basically where a potential nail would go, that's what we would do. I'm going to pull that. Making sure that there are no kinks. Now you could definitely tie this without a jig and just tie it directly onto the Turk's knot. But I'm one of those people that prefers to tie it on a jig so I can get it done and out of the way, and I can work on the rest of the whip. So it's up to you. You can tie it directly onto the whip itself. However, I don't like doing that. I prefer just to tie it off to itself and then attach it later. All right, so that's what we want. We want the off-colored strand to be in between this. Don't pull it super tight because it's going to get tighter as we go along. So for this, we're gonna follow this strand until we hit our off-colored strand. And as you notice, I've said this before, but this is a trick you want to keep in mind. See how these strands are right next to each other when they come up? You want to break them up. So in this case, we're just going to follow this strand. We're going to go under, over, and then under 2, just like that. See what I'm saying? And keep this pattern in mind as we go along. Just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go under, over 1, under 2. Because these guys are right next to each other, we want to break them up. Want to make sure the little kinks are all out, because the last thing you want to do is try to fish a kink out of the knot as you're attaching it to the whip. That's not easy to do. There we go. We're going to go under, over. Now notice how these two strands are right next to each other? Just like that. We're going to go under 1, over 2, under 2. Just like that. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to go under 1, over 1. Again, these two are together. See that? We're going to go under 2, over 2, under 2. Just like that. Making sure that the paracord doesn't snag the nail. There we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go under. Again, these two are together. Break them up. Go over 1, under 2. And then we're just going to complete and continue the under 2, over 2 pattern. So we went under 2, we're going to go over 2. Now we're going to go under 2. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go alongside this strand here. We're just going to go under like that. Being sure not to pull super tight because it can slip through past this blue strand. So now we're going to go under 2, over 2, under 2. Now we're going to go under 1, over 2, under 2, over 2. And now we're pretty much completed. We have pretty much completed the knot, but what we're going to do is slip it right beside our working strand, or our standing strand, or whatever it was. We're going to take this, we're going to take off our lacing needle. Now what I'm going to do is pull out all the nails. Just like that. Now we're going to take off our rubber band and gently adjust our strands, just like that. And there we go. We've pretty much completed our knot. And all that's left to do is attach it onto a whip. Alright, so I went through and I tightened up all the strands. It is now complete. I don't have a whip to attach this to because I made it for the sake of this tutorial. However, I would recommend that the best place to put this on is the transition of a whip, mostly because this is a little bit on the small side. So unless you have a really, really tiny whip, I don't recommend putting it on the heel knot. The other Turk's knot that I have here, check that video out if you haven't. I'll put a card right up here. That's ideal for heel knots. This would be ideal for transition knots. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to this YouTube channel as well, because I do plan on releasing several other videos later down the line. Yeah, with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.